from Brazil, Hugo Calderano. In the moment, he's only one rank higher. World number 5 from France, Felix Lebrun.
We are about to reach the climax of WTT Star Contender Ljubljana. The final match this week is the men's final, and it should be an absolute belter. World number 5 against world number 6. Felix Lebrun of France up against Hugo Calderano of Brazil. And we've been chatting off air, Fraser, and we can't split them, can we? We just don't know.
We just don't know, and they're just so evenly matched. It's world number 5 versus the world number 6. It is anyone's. I mean, the last time they played in a final, Felix won, but the last time they played, Calderano won. So it's on the knife edge, and I'm sure this is going to be a spectacular way, a fitting way to finish what's been a brilliant week of table tennis.
And what's your assessment of the form that both of them have showed this week?
I think I've been impressed with the form of both men, particularly Calderano, who hasn't been tested as far. For me, Calderano is the better shot maker, the more dangerous hitter, but I'd say Felix is the more stable of the two, the more consistent in terms of, the trajectory of his level. It doesn't dip as low as Calderano's, but doesn't necessarily go as high. For me, it just depends on, who is better on the day. But Calderano is looking particularly good at the moment for me. If I had to put my money on either one of these two today, it'd be Calderano.
Okay, well, if you're with us earlier, you'll have seen Lebrun take down Tomokazu Harimoto in 4 games. Calderano only needed 3 against a somewhat below par Cho Dae-sung of Korea in his semi-final. But it's such a tough one to call. Lebrun trying to win a second Star Contender title this year, having been victorious in Goa. Calderano's only previous Star Contender title came in Doha 3 years ago. So he's overdue, I guess you'd say.
He has won more contenders than anyone. But this, a tier higher, just means that much more, with 600 ranking points up for grabs.
And a 10-year age gap between the two. Lebrun 17, Calderano 27. And you mentioned the 600 ranking points, and in addition to that, $10,000 US is the prize money for the winner. 7,500 for the runner-up.
First game, Calderano to serve, love all. One love. Love 2.
Head-to-head between the two men stands at 2-1 to Felix. But the last time they played was at the Champions Incheon. Calderano won in straight games.
3-1.
Well, the net's being kind to the Brazilian. That's a couple of net calls already that have left Lebrun without any chance whatsoever.
4-1.
Magnificent backhand from the South American.
Ooh, a counter right back into the crossover. It was a very spinny ball. Calderano lifted the half long. Backhands, they're so, similar in terms of level, but I'd say Calderano has the stronger forehand.
3-4.
Felix barely ever goes back. Doesn't need to, because of how he can dominate up to the table.
Already, this promises to be a terrific final, doesn't it? We only had about a couple of minutes, but hugely entertaining and close, just how we like it. What about a 15-13 in the seventh? One way or the other.
See if you press her answer, Trevor.
4-5.
There's never been a decider between the two. Why not today? Closest game they had was when Felix beat him in Goa 4-2. Calderano had a game point or two to go 3-0 up in that final.
5-5.
Really are the two strongest players right now outside of the Chinese team.
5-7.
It's a clever serve from Calderano. He's a high toss server. Lebrun just has his face forward, focusing on the point of contact.
7-7.
But if your receiver's just a tad bit too loose, I mean, that's not even a long one from Lebrun. Calderano swoops in, so often with a point ender.
8-7.
Clearly got supporters of both men in the hall.
8-8.
Some compensation there for Felix, who obviously missed the serve. Good push from the world number 5.
Well, it's just as close as we thought and we hoped it would be, certainly early on here. Now, who can hold their nerve the better? Business end of this opening game.
9-9.
So first game point goes to the Brazilian, albeit on the Lebrun serve. And he's got it though, 11-9, and Calderano strikes first here.
Early points on both ends. Calderano managed to keep the steady at hand at the end of the first game, and now we, so 1-0. 5-0.
Second game, Lebrun to serve, level. Left 1.
Wonderful spot there from Calderano with this flick.
Two, left.
Scream of anguish from the Frenchman. Such high standards will both men do. I wouldn't say that Calderano's a particularly slow player, but compared to Lebrun, he's a tortoise. The Frenchman gets it back into play so quickly.
Well, Calderano's a harder hitter. He goes for broke more than Lebrun.
3-3.
Felix just barely misses and places the ball out with great spin. It's funny because even though he plays at a higher tempo, he plays the longer game, Felix.
I just feel that when you play him, he gets on with it so quickly, as his opponent, you never feel completely settled when you're receiving serve.
You can't be settled because you don't know what's going to come, and that's testament to the deception at the pro level. I think Felix is getting a little bit desperate here, and Calderano's keeping his cool. Lebrun's trying to win a point straight away, and has lost a bit of that deception in doing so.
6-4. Left 6-4.
Ums and ahs from this one.
Such a low trajectory, just literally kissed the table, didn't it?
I thought he'd taken it a bit too late, Calderano.
Yeah.
4-8.
Well, forehand, backhand, all coming the same to him at the moment. And Lebrun must feel like he's one of those ducks in a fairground shooting range,
5-8.
coming at him from all angles.
Well, that's a escape for Calderano. Bit of fortune changed the fate of that point. But it hasn't been luck that's made the difference.
So very quickly, Calderano has 5 points for a 2-love lead. Off to an absolute flyer. 11-5. And somehow, Lebrun has to stop the bleeding. 2-love.
The second game seems to be doing something right because he's not increasing his lead to 2-0.
Calderano is only
Third game.
about 200 points behind Lebrun. This would really close the gap here. Get 180 more points for winning it than you do losing in the final. And, you know, at the very top of the tree in the world, you know, some of the top Chinese may have points that are about to expire. So who knows? One of these two could end up overtaking a couple of them.
Now, if you're a Lebrun fan, you might have some semi-cheery news, Fraser, just in terms of what happened back in Goa.
Yeah, so Felix lost the first two games there and then won the next four. But it's even more comfortable for Calderano now than what it was in that final. He won 11-9, 11-9 there. Here he's won 11-9, 11-5. It's a very, very similar final so far. And Calderano is going to look to, you know, have a different day today. And he really needs it.
Yeah, and that'll certainly be in the back of his mind as well, that just because he's taken the first two games relatively comfortably does not mean that he's got this match won at all. But he has forced the Frenchman to take a timeout early in game three, having lost the opening 2 points of this game.
Left 2. Left 3.
It looks like Calderano's outmanning him at the moment. It's alpha mentality of the Brazilian. And Felix is capitulating. His timeout doesn't seem to have helped.
No. And one to turn to now. He's on the board.
1.
Sounds rather heartless to say it, but from Calderano's point of view, when you've got your foot on the other guy's throat, metaphorically, you need to keep it there. Can't give him any encouragement. Try and get back into a match where he's been dominated thus far. And to say that, Lebrun comes from 4-0 down to be just the point behind now. How about that? Delayed reaction to the timeout, Fraser.
You could say that from where we're sat, but this is a great response from Felix. So it's back with Calderano.
4, 5.
Then if you're Nathaniel Malone there and, you know, the coaching Felix Lebrun. You can't imagine he went too hard on the tactics when Felix was losing. Felix knows how to win this match. Just a case for me of how calm he is.
Well, that's 6 points on the spin.
Has Calderano begun to think about that final goer, or is this just testament to Lebrun's improvement? Hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it would be at the back of Calderano's mind. Calderano's mind, I think.
7-4.
Because you don't forget something like that easily.
Well, for me, his mentality really has improved. I mean, he's always been such a hard worker, like an unbelievably hard worker. But in Chongqing, from 2-0 down against Ovtcharov to come back against, you know, the man who beat him in the Olympics, to beat Liang Jinquin, who came back to a decider after he was 2-0 up, and then have that mental fortitude to win the decider. He looks better mentally, Calderano, now. He had a couple of tough losses, you know, in 2021. 2 Ovtcharov in the Olympic quarter-final. 2 Liang Jinquin from 3-0 up in Houston. It feels like he's laid a few of his ghosts to rest.
6-7.
And if he hadn't have managed to achieve that, then for me, I would have been going harder on the Lebrun button than I am today.
7-7.
Tucked that backhand away very nicely. It's been a bizarre third game so far. Upshot being that we're all level again.
7-8.
Turns the heat up again. Here are 3 game points, rather, for a 3-love lead for the Brazilian. Remember, he led 4-love in this game, trailed 6-4. Topsy-turvy, doesn't cover it. Well, absolutely superb towards the end of that game. And it's 11-7, and it's 3-love. And Calderano is 1 game away from lifting this title.
Almost managed to win the third game, but made some good ending with those points, and now increasing his match lead to 3-0.
Fourth game, Lebrun to serve, level.
So can Lebrun rouse himself, get back into this match somehow? Just needs a foothold, because he is the kind of player that we know is capable of running up points in clusters.
I think this is the first time I've seen Felix Lebrun 3-0 down in a best-of-7. Let's see how he does.
1-2.
Not used to being in this situation. you know, won his previous and only 2 finals. But you know, Calderano just has that grizzled aura, persona.
2, 3.
And he is striking the ball when the iron's hot. He is meeting it at exactly the right points. Scary power, and
4, 2.
Lebrun is absolutely miffed here. He's really resenting this situation, and he's got to relax. He's just got to relax. And I know that's easier said than done, but, you know, you're facing your opponent. You don't want to be facing yourself as well.
Yes, becoming something of a humbling experience, this. And hugely unexpected, to be honest. Not so much that Calderano looks like he might take down this title, but just the manner of it, the margin of it.
Well, it was so surprising how he beat him in Incheon in the quarterfinals 3-0. A switch went in Calderano's mind, I think, after that Goa final, and it hasn't been the same since.
Crowd doing their absolute best to raise his spirits. And he's got himself back on terms from 5-2 down. Just confirmed that Lebrun has picked up a yellow card for a little bit of petulance.
5, 6.
Another streak here.
Well, that's what I'm saying earlier. I mean, we know he's capable of doing it. Saw it in the last game. He won 6 points in a row. Still couldn't win the game.
6, 6.
He's not having too many issues with the kind of round shovel action of Felix's serve. This one's a pendulum. Maybe not the right choice to play the backhand from there from Calderano. His backhand is so good. I mean, we've seen him do 3-point forehand exercise with the backhand in training.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's fantastic. A little cheeky and brilliantly done. Now then, got himself in front. Can he take advantage here and extend this final?
Devastating power. Make it or break it for Lebrun.
8, 9.
That backhand's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Calderano's absolutely nails it 9 times out of 10, but Lebrun comes back at him.
With the RPB snaps through there.
So Calderano 2 points away from this title. Lebrun 2 points away from at least getting a foothold in this final. And now an opportunity for Hugo Calderano to take down this title. Championship point. I honestly did not see a final as one-sided as this coming after everything we've witnessed this week. But you just can't do anything other than congratulate Hugo Calderano. Fraser, he's been brilliant tonight.
He's been magnificent. and a fantastic victory for Hugo Calderano. He's learned from his mistakes in the past. 27 years of age now, in his prime and playing like it. That was a pleasure to watch there. And Felix Lebrun's first loss in a final. He's got to treat this as a learning experience. This will harden him. This is a battle scar here that he's got to look back at in future as a learning curve.
It took only 26 minutes, would you believe? Brilliant from Calderano.